This country is in a state of decline, economic decline, military decline, cultural decline. And if we look at states that are governed by leftist politicians wielding leftist ideology, those states are symptomatic of the larger decline in our country. And I can cite you statistics, but all you have to do is look how people are voting with their feet.
Well, that was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis discussing how the real patriots in our country are overcoming the backlash from left-wing radicals. But does he alone own that lane? Let's welcome current advisor to former President Trump and the host of Dick Morris Democracy here on Newsmax, and the author of the best-selling book, The Return, Trump's Big 2024 Comeback, Dick Morris himself. Dick, always good to see you, my friend. Look, it appears the right is finally beginning to win those culture wars in this country. Certainly, we know that Governor DeSantis staked his claim in Florida for bringing some of those cultural misalignments to the foreground, or to the forefront, rather. But do you see this as an issue that all Republicans, including President Trump, can also run on?
Yeah, I think all of them can. Trump is no Johnny-come-lately to this issue, though. But I do believe that the larger point here is that there are a good many states and a good many political leaders who are now coming back against the woke culture policies. For example, 18 states have passed laws that restricted gender change surgery for minors. BlackRock, the investment firm that controls $2.3 trillion of capital to invest, has been the leader in ESG investing, meaning investment to help left-wing causes, has now said it will have a vote of its shareholders, including proxy votes, which will make it possible to reverse this policy. There have been all kinds of songs. James Aldean tried that in a small town. The movie The Sound of Freedom. All of these are really part of a cultural backlash against the woke policies. Of course, the main one is when you settle back with the beer, you got to be careful what beer you're drinking, because Bud Light sales are down by 25% after it showcased Dylan Mulvaney on its can. And Mulvaney has proven so toxic that it's also hurting a variety of other things like Nike, products like Nike, and Adidas has felt the wrath too when it came out with a trans line of swimwear and other sportwear. So these companies are all feeling the backlash, and I think the backlash is very important. John Jordan, who came on my show, comes on my show later today at 7:30. Says it perfectly. He says that culture is upstream from politics. In other words, you change the culture first, and then it comes down to the politics. And now we're beginning to see that happening.
Absolutely. We'll look forward to seeing that later this evening. I do want to shift gears slightly. President Trump was in Iowa at that Lincoln dinner there with Ron DeSantis for the first time. You look at what's happening at Ron DeSantis' campaign, and really predating his campaign from when he became that first Republican down in Florida to win Miami-Dade in over 20 years, and was polling ahead of Trump by some numbers, to now, where he's laid off close to 39 members of his staff, 38 rather, including 10 top-level staff members. Do you see this as the beginning of the end for Ron DeSantis, or the end of the beginning?
Well, I think he's approaching the end, however you phrase it. That's a Churchill line, by the way. Don't go. But I do believe that when you say that 39% of his staff has been laid off, that's not a negative development any more than an amputation on a gangrenous limb is a step backwards. They had to amputate some of those staff because they were dragging the campaign down and bleeding it for money. He had a lot staff, maybe 4 or 5 times larger than Trump's staff.
Right.
And he basically hired the whole state of Florida, and he hoped that that would give him a campaign, and it sure didn't.
Absolutely. Quickly, before we get out of here, I know you got some stuff coming up tonight, but about 30 seconds here, your take on the Hunter Biden plea deal that completely blew up where we found out concretely under oath that he'd accepted no less than $600,000 in Chinese money, and where we found out that it appears that the DOJ was trying to sweep a blanket immunity deal under the rug.
Well, the DOJ ran into a district court judge that really stands for integrity and would not take this plea deal. The normal adversarial process, the prosecutor against the defense, didn't apply here because both sides were on the defense side. And the only one representing the people was a judge who said, no, we're not accepting the sweetheart deal. We want the truth. Because when the prosecution, when the state said, we're not going to bring any other charges, she said, what? With all these revelations coming out, you're not bringing charges? Not in my courtroom.
Absolutely.
Well,
One last judge standing for justice. Dick Morris, always appreciate you, my friend. And again, don't forget to catch more of Dick Morris and his commentary tonight on Dick Morris Democracy each week on Newsmax at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You don't want to miss it. And also check out his best-selling book, The Return.